Srimate Bhakti Vedanta. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, which part were we in, Prabhu? At Mathura?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So we are almost nearing the end of Mahaprabhu's Leela's description here in this Bhagavatam introduction. The Lord is now heading back towards Navadvip. At Mathura, the Lord visited all the important places. Then he reached Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya appeared in the family of a high caste Brahmana, and over and above that, as sannyasi, he was the preceptor for all the varnas and ashramas. But he used to accept meals from all classes of Vaishnavas. At Mathura, the Sanodhiya Brahmanas are considered to be in the lower status of society. But the Lord accepted meals in their families also because his host happened to be a disciple of the Madhavendra Puri family. At Vrindavan, the Lord took baths in 24 important bathing places and ghats. He traveled to all the 12 important vanas, forests. In these forests, all the cows and birds welcomed him as if he were their very old friend. The Lord also began to embrace all the trees of those forests, and by doing so, he felt the symptoms of transcendental ecstasy. Sometimes he fell unconscious, but he was made to regain consciousness by chanting the holy name of Krishna. The transcendental symptoms of that were visible on the body of the Lord during his travel within the forest of Vrindavan were all unique and inexplicable, and we have just given a synopsis only. So, any one of you who is interested in seriously trying to understand Mahaprabhu's activities and pastimes, you should study Chaitanya Charitamrita. It may appear a bit challenging in the beginning. When we start the studies, Chaitanya Charitamrita is heavy on philosophy. It appears a bit intimidating, but anyone who is able to, discipline and read it, he'll find very sweet pastimes of the Lord there. So this particular pastime which is described here is in the Madhya Leela, when the Lord entered the forest of Vrindavan. So the description here is that, there's a very interesting description here that when Mahaprabhu entered the border of Vrindavan, there were some like hundreds of cows grazing. And when they saw Mahaprabhu, they all started running towards him. And then they surrounded him and they were embracing him. He was embracing them and they were licking him. In fact, for the cow herds, it became impossible to control them. And when Mahaprabhu went to the forest, the trees would bend and he would embrace the trees also. So, this description, Prabhupada deliberately keeps it very short here so that we do not get lost. So, you can see, Mahaprabhu's philosophy is philosophy of pure love of Godhead, prema pumartho mahan. But that philosophy cannot be understood if the heart is impure. This philosophy is not at a bodily level, it's purely spiritual. Mahaprabhu has taught us that of all the rasas that the living entity enjoy, of all the mellows that a living entity enjoys with the Lord, the mellow of Madhurya Ras is the highest. And within Madhurya Ras also, so Madhurya Ras or the conjugal mellow is the highest. But within this conjugal mellow also, there are two variations, Swakiya Bhav and Parakiya. So Swakiya Bhav is what the queens of Dwarka enjoy with Krishna. But Parakiya is what gopis enjoy with Krishna. It's our misfortune that within this material world, Parakiya Bhav is the most abominable activity. Having conjugal relationship with somebody else's wife. This is most abominable. It's the most sinful activity. In the spiritual world, this is the most pleasurable activity. And therefore, it is awarded to the highest of devotees only. So we can see that, this is the level of purification that we have to undergo. We have to understand that this Madhurya Ras is purely on a spiritual platform. It is not bodily. The attraction between a man and woman in this material world is actually just a bodily misconception. It is an illusion which is, created by ignorance. It is not reality because the spirit soul on a material platform is neither male nor female. So anything that is done is an illusion. Hmm. Hmm. So Mahaprabhu taught this through his own example. Therefore, if anyone very carefully studies the Chaitanya Charitamrita, one will be able to enter into these pastimes of the Lord. The spiritual master is here to teach us the science of spirit soul. Mahaprabhu is our preceptor. He's the acharya of our sampradaya. So through his activities, we can understand everything. So Mahaprabhu's teachings coming down from Srila Prabhupada are the easiest way to understand Krishna and his activities. Therefore, we must very carefully study the books of Srila Prabhupada. You will find many speakers on YouTube talking about Vrindavan Leelas. There are so many, this Babaji, this Maharaj, that Maharaj. But that is all confusion. You know, if we really want to understand the Supreme Lord, we have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master very, very carefully, very, very scrupulously. Like we see in our case, it's Srila Prabhupada. We have to be very, very particular about hearing from Srila Prabhupada. So here you see, Srila Prabhupada is giving an introduction to the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he's not introducing too many of his pastimes here. Only very brief descriptions of Mahaprabhu. So we must take that as a clue that we should not inquire beyond this at this stage. At some point in future, when we have finished the study of Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we are purified enough, when we are sincere enough, these pastimes of the Lord will be manifest within our heart. And logically also we should try to understand. Especially this is a kind of disease we see in the West, that devotees want to understand the Ras Leela, which is actually an abominable desire, because at this stage we are very sexually charged. We really have no conception of spirit soul. So to try to jump into Madhurya Leela of Krishna will only degrade us. And the desire itself is a bit degraded at this stage of our consciousness. So we see this desire is very common. Everybody wants to jump there. And as a result of that, what happens is everyone eventually becomes bewildered. They try to short circuit. Oh, Prabhupada is being too philosophical. He is talking too much dry philosophy. I need to know something higher, and immediately they jump onto these Babajis or this and that. But the result of that is that one's consciousness is completely bewildered. Eventually, one thinks that, oh, this is just mundane, this is boring, and then one leaves. So one has to be very, very careful in studying the Leelas of Mahaprabhu. So Srila Prabhupada himself explains that once you have purified yourself, these Leelas will be manifest. So jumping artificially also means one thing, that we really don't have any knowledge. The Swarupa, or the original position of the soul vis-a-vis the Lord, is fixed. That is not changing. It's not that if I study the Leelas of Gopis very hard, I will become a Gopi. No. Whatever is my position in the spiritual world, that will be revealed, and that will be perfect for me. So, suppose a living entity is a Gopa in the spiritual world, or he's a cow in the spiritual world. What use is studying all these intimate Leelas of Krishna, like Gita Govind or other things? That is premature study, because that's not what we are intended to become. So, therefore, we should follow the instructions of the spiritual master, and in due course of time, everything will be revealed to us. So, we continue. Some of the important places that were visited by the Lord in Vrindavan were Kamyavan, Adishwar, Pavan Sarovar, Khadirvan, Sheshashai, Khelatirtha, Bhandirvan, Bhadravan, Shrivan, Lohvan, Mahavan, Gokul, Kalyahrad, Dwadashaditya, Keshi Tirth, etc. When he saw the place where the Ras dance took place, he at once fell down in trance. As long as he remained at Vrindavan, he made his headquarters at Akrura Ghat. From Vrindavan, his personal servitors, Krishnadas Vipra, induced him to go back to Prayag to take bath during the Magh Mela. The Lord acceded to this proposal, and they started for Prayag. On the way, They were met with some Pathans, amongst whom were a learned, amongst whom there was a learned Maulana. The Lord had some talks with the Maulana and his companions, and the Lord convinced the Maulana that in the Quran also there are descriptions of Bhagavad Dharma and Krishna. All the Pathans were converted to his cult of devotional service. So there's this class of Vaishnavas in Bengal and the modern day Uttar Pradesh who are known as Pathan Vaishnavas. Their ancestors were Pathans, Muslims from Afghanistan, but now they are all Vaishnavas. When he returned to Prayag, Srila Rupa Goswami and his youngest brother met him near the Bindu Madhava temple. This time, the Lord was welcomed by the people of Prayag more respectfully. Vallabha Bhatta, who resided on the bank of the Prayag in the village of Adail actually, was to receive him at his place. But while going there, the Lord jumped into in the river Yamuna. With great difficulty, he was picked up in an unconscious state. Finally, he visited the headquarters of Vallabh Bhatt. This Vallabh Bhatt was one of his chief admirers, but later on he inaugurated his own party of the Vallabha Sampradaya. So, in the modern day India, if you go in the western region, especially the city of Bombay, there is a class of Vaishnavas. They are primarily from Gujarat. They are known as the Vallabha Vaishnavas. They are worshippers of Gopal Krishna.
Pushti
When
Margis.
he returned to Pushti Margis, Vallabha Sampradaya, yes. When he returned to Prayag, Srila Rupa Goswami and his youngest brother met him near Bindu Madhav temple. Okay, yeah, this one now. On the bank of Dashashwamedh Ghat at Prayag, for 10 days continuously, the Lord instructed Rupa Goswami in the science of devotional service of the Lord. He taught the Goswami the divisions of living creatures in the 8.4 million species of life. Then he taught him about the human species. Out of them, he discussed the followers of the Vedic principles. Out of them, the fruitive workers. Out of them, the empiric philosophers. And out of them, the liberated souls. He said that there are only a few who are actually pure devotees of Lord Sri Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami was the younger brother of Sanatan Goswami, and he retired from service. When he retired from service, he brought with him two boatfuls of gold coins. This means that he brought with him some hundreds of thousands of rupees accumulated by the labor of his service. And before leaving home for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he divided the wealth as follows: 50% for the service of the Lord and his devotees, 25% for relatives, and 25% for his personal needs in case of emergency. In that way, he set an example for all householders. The Lord taught the Goswami about devotional service, comparing it to a creeper, and he advised him to protect the bhakti creeper most carefully against the mad elephant offense against the pure devotees. In addition, the creeper has to be protected from the desires of sense enjoyment, monastic liberation, and perfection of the Hatha Yoga system. They are all detrimental on the path of devotional service. Similarly, violence against living beings, desire for worldly gain, worldly reception, and worldly fame are all detrimental to the progress of bhakti or Bhagavad Dharma. Pure devotional service must be freed from all desires for sense gratification, fruitive aspirations, and the culture of monastic knowledge. One must be freed from all kinds of designations, and when one is thus converted into transcendental purity, one can then serve the Lord by purified senses. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam, giving up all designations. So naturally, if I am not a man, if I am not an engineer, I am not a doctor or whatever, then what desires can I have? If I don't think I am a man, then I won't like all these, wonderful things like guns and cars and all these things, because I don't think I am this body. Whatever the body and the mind like, they don't belong to me. I am not theirs, and they are not mine. When we think like this, we become free from all desires also. This is the primary goal of bhakti, becoming free from materialistic designations. Then devotional service starts. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. So in the Gita, Krishna says that when one becomes free from all these desires, then when one is situated on the level of spirit soul, Brahma Bhuta, then the devotional service actually starts. So right now, whatever we are practicing is sadhana, discipline. So our chanting, our reading, our austerities, regulative principles, those are the those are the regulations. Those are the purificatory principles. We're trying to establish ourselves on the platform of the spirit soul. Hmm. As long as there is desire to enjoy sensually or to become one with the supreme or to possess the mystic powers, there is no question of attaining the stage of pure devotional service. So, as long as there is any kind of desire, akama, sarva kama, moksha kamudaradhi, even if there is a desire to be liberated from material nature, even these are on a selfish platform. Aham, therefore, I and mine, aham mameti. So long as these desires are existing, why do I want liberation from this material world? Because I am suffering. While this may sound very noble, it's actually ultimately selfish. I want liberation because I am suffering. No, no one is thinking about Vishnu or Krishna. My dear Lord, what is your desire? Arjuna also wanted to run away, but Krishna convinced him to fight. And then Krishna says, Yathechasi tatha kuru. Whatever you desire, you do. But Arjun says, Ye karishye vachanam tava. I will do as you say. Sitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. And please remember one thing. After hearing Bhagavad Gita and during the battle of Mahabharata, it was not that Arjun was not suffering. Arjun suffered. Arjun was feeling the exact pain which he had mentioned to Krishna, the pain of killing his own family members. Arjun was not happily killing everyone. Okay, now I'm happy. I'll murder everyone. No, Arjun was still reluctant. He still felt unhappy in killing all the people, even those who had offended him. But he did it as a service to Krishna. So this was the difference. Arjun still felt the pain, but he developed the power to tolerate that pain in service to Krishna. So that's the goal of bhakti. Sometimes devotees will ask that, Prabhu, I have been practicing for so many years, but I still suffer. Yes, devotional service is not going to relieve our suffering in that way. We will still have to tolerate whatever is coming our way. But devotional service means becoming freed from the misconception that I am suffering. Because suffering is only on the account of body and mind. We are trying to free ourselves from that misconception. Hmm. Devotional service is conducted under two categories, namely primary practice and spontaneous emotion. When one can rise up to the platform of spontaneous emotion, he can make further progress by spiritual attachment, feeling, love, and many higher stages of devotional service, devotional life, for which there are no English words. We have tried to explain the science of devotional service in our book, The Nectar of Devotion, based on the authority of the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. Transcendental devotional service has 5 stages of reciprocation. Number one, the self realization stage just after liberation from material bondage is called the Shant or the neutral stage. After that, when there is development of transcendental knowledge of the Lord's internal opulences, the devotee engages himself in Dasya stage or the stage of servitorship, serving the Lord. After that, there is development of transcendental knowledge of the Lord's internal opulences. The, devo- uh, the devotee engages in Dasyaras. By further development of the Dasya stage, a respectful fraternity with the Lord develops. And above that, a feeling of friendship on equal terms becomes manifest. Both these stages are called Sakhya stage or devotional service in friendship. Respectful fraternity with the Lord. Now, this is where Mayavadis become confused. Actually, in the stage of liberation, one realizes, after rendering devotional service in the stage of liberation, when the first traces of the love of Godhead appear in the heart, one realizes that he's on the same level as Krishna. Now, this is a very hard statement to digest, and don't think too much about it. It will become clear when we study everything. We talk about the relationship between the Lord and the living entity as Vibhu and Anu. Lord is infinite, we are infinitesimal. But in all appearances, the Lord and the living entity appear as one. Krishna is a Gopa. There are other Gopa boys. They are playing, they are fighting. In fact, there is this devotee called Madhu Mangal. He's a Brahmana. So Madhu Mangal is threatening the Lord sometimes that, my dear Krishna, you are a Vaishya and I am a Brahmana. You must feed me. If you don't feed me, I will, curse you and Radharani will become angry with you. So Krishna feeds him, gives him nice prasad. This is fraternal relationship. And Madhu Mangal doesn't know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He just thinks of Krishna as a very sweet friend. That's the mellow of, Vatsalya Ras, Sakhya Ras. This is their friendship. There are many such instances actually. When you study the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, you'll see many such instances. Madhu Mangal is playing as a Brahmana. There is Arjun, not our Arjun, Pandav Arjun. There's another Arjun there, Gopa. There are so many Gopas of Krishna. There are like his intimate circle of friends. They're always joking and playing with him all the time. They do not know that he's the Lord. They are under Yoga Maya. They appear on an equal platform with Krishna. And that's the mellow that Krishna enjoys. So one develops fraternal relationship with Krishna at this stage. Above this stage, above this, there is the stage of paternal affection towards the Lord, and this is called Vatsalya Ras. So elder Gopas, elder Gopis, when Krishna meets them, they kiss his forehead. Imagine doing that to the Supreme Lord. Try doing that in Jagannath Puri temple. See, but that's what happens in Golok Vrindavan. You can associate with Krishna. They kiss his forehead. They smell his forehead and they kiss him. Okay, this is our little boy. And all the mothers of Vrindavan, all the fathers of Vrindavan, they think that Krishna is exceptionally cute. In fact, when Brahma Vimohan Leela takes place, the Gopas and the Gopis are wondering why they're feeling so much overwhelming affection for their own child. They have not felt so much before. But why are they feeling so much? Because Krishna has taken their form. So these are the secrets of bhakti. They're very difficult to understand. But we can see, these are mellows. These mellows cannot be exhibited, that see, Krishna is not humbug, Krishna is not bogus. He's not just wanting people to worship him all the time or just love him like that. He wants that genuine feeling. That genuine feeling will never come. I mean, suppose Krishna appears on this earth and catches a woman on the street and says, hey, now I'm your son. The woman will be fearful. She'll say, okay, okay, you're my son. But that is not love. That's fear. Oh, this is the Lord. No, Krishna doesn't like it at all. You see this in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna doesn't like it this way. So he puts them under illusion. And this lady will think, oh, this is my child. And when that affection comes, then Krishna relishes it. So when Krishna is saying that Mamaya Vansha Jivaloke, this is what he means. We are his parts and parcels for his service in this way. But his service is different because we relish it even more than him. Krishna is Rasaraj. He's enjoying all these rasas and genuine rasas. No fake, no artificial flavors. No artificial sugar and flavor. These are pure, genuine rasas. So these ladies, these gents of Vrindavan, they actually think that Krishna is their child. They are very affectionate to him. They're completely overwhelmed by his affection. So that is Vatsalya stage. And above this stage, there is a stage of conjugal love, and this stage is called the highest stage of love of God. Although there is no difference in quality in any of the above stages, the last stage of conjugal love of God is called the Madhurya stage. Madhurya, the Sanskrit word Madhura, meaning very palatable, sweet mellow. That's Madhurya, highest mellow. Now, one thing we have to understand here, in Vrindavan, there are all these rasas. Like, for example, stones and trees and Shantaras. Okay, the Lord sees them, they see the Lord, they're happy. The Lord is happy. There are stones and water in Yamun in Vrindavan. He's happy. They are happy. Krishna has his servants also. Then these are Dasyaras. So they're like little animals of Vrindavan and all. What can they do? Krishna is not playing with them all the time. Krishna is happy in their presence. They are happy in Krishna's presence, and that's it. It's not that the squirrels and monkeys come to live with the Lord in his house. No, they just play. So Dasya stage. Then there is Vatsalya stage. Of course, the elderly gopis and elderly gopas. And Senior boys also, bigger boys who are also feeling, who also think of Krishna as their junior. Then there is Madhurya, the highest stage, gopis. So high is this stage that Mahaprabhu says that that he is Gopim Bharto Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasanudas. He's the stage, he's at their lotus feet. He calls Krishna the husband of gopis. Gopi Bhartu, he calls him. He doesn't call him Krishna. He says Gopi Bhartu. So gopis are so worshipable, they are so high. But one thing, that there is no distinction between these rasas. The ecstasy that the Lord experiences, or the ecstasy that the living entity experiences in being a cow, a friend, a stone, a monkey, a frog, a tree, or a gopi in Vrindavan, is the same. These are superlatives. One rasa is better than the other, but the other rasa is not inferior than the previous one. No, this is your transcendental confusion. You can work it out how it is, but this is how it is. The rasa that the gopis have with Krishna is the highest, but the rasa that Yashoda mother has for Krishna is not lower. In fact, in this regard, there's a very interesting conversation that Prabhupada had once. So one disciple of Prabhupada, he asked in his typical, very American fashion, he asked, so Prabhupada, does Krishna love Radharani more than Yashoda? And he expected, like it was like a joking question, and he expected Prabhupada to answer jokingly, but Prabhupada got angry. He said, what kind of nonsense is this? He's asking, does Krishna love Radha more than Yashoda? Such a rascal. So you see, there is no distinction. Krishna loves his friends, and everything in Vrindavan is his friend. Even the frogs in the river, the little fish swimming in the water, everyone is Krishna's friend. They all love Krishna unequivocally, and Krishna reciprocates. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. But these rasas are still considered superlative. So we as Gaudiyas, we are following in the footsteps of Srimati Radharani, the highest of gopis, in the highest of parakiya bhav, ecstasy of separation from the Lord. Yes, Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments here so far? So if anyone is actually interested in learning more about these rasas or how these work, actually these rasas are not just these like 5 blocks here. There are many combinations of these. Many combinations of these. These rasas overlap also. There are incompatible rasas and there are compatible rasas. For example, Vatsalya and Madhurya are not compatible. At the same time, Vatsalya and Sakhya are compatible. So these rasas mix together to form another 64 or so rasas. And then the Lord enjoys all of those. So if you want more details, you can always refer to the third and fourth volumes of The Nectar of Devotion. It's a beautiful book. You can read about all of these things there in great details. Srila Rupa Goswami has explained everything there. Okay, yes, Hare Krishna. Yes, someone has a question?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Yes, Prabhu.
प्रभु जी, जैसे कि आपने बताया, ये मायावाद वगैरह जो होता है कि हम
Hmm.
प्रभु की लेवल को खुद को समझते हैं या उससे बेटर समझते हैं। तो
Hmm.
एक स्टेज ऐसा भी आना चाहिए प्रभु जी, ऐसे मुझे लगता है कि हम
Hmm.
जो मूर्ति के सामने खड़े रहते हैं, पूजा वगैरह करते हैं, तो
Hmm.
ऐसा एक स्टेज अल्टीमेट, ये तो बहुत दूर की बात है, लेकिन एक
Hmm.
ऐसा स्टेज आना चाहिए कि हम उससे बात करें, प्रभु कृष्ण से, राधा रानी से, कि हे प्रभु,
Hmm.
हमारी कोई समस्या है, अगर समस्या नहीं भी है तो समस्या के लिए भक्ति करना ये तो गलत बात है,
Hmm.
लेकिन फिर भी हम ऐसा एक स्टेज, ये बहुत दूर की बात है प्रभु जी, लेकिन ऐसा एक स्टेज आना चाहिए कि हम उससे बात करें। तो उसके लिए
Hmm.
सरेंडर सरेंडर होना जरूरी है। उतने हम सरेंडर नहीं है, हम तो सरेंडर है हमारे ये भौतिक जो बातें है उससे है, लेकिन क्या ये गलत है सोच कि हमें ऐसा हम टॉक करना चाहिए उस कृष्ण से, राधा रानी से। हरे
Yes,
कृष्ण
that's
प्रभु
the
जी।
aspiration. Hare Krishna. That is our aspiration. That is the goal of our life. One day to talk to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that one day, yes, Krishna will shake hands with you. In first canto, like when we are going to study about creation, second canto of Bhagavatam, we will see that Lord Brahmaji prayed to Krishna. He performed austerity. He prayed to the Lord, and Vishnu appeared and shook hands with him. So yes, ऐसा होना चाहिए एक दिन. One day we should see Lord face to face. We should talk, but not now. Right now we chant. We chant Hare Krishna.
Yes,
We read Bhagavad
Prabhuji.
Gita, Bhagavatam. सॉरी, मैं आपका जवाब
Hare
इंग्लिश में दे रहा
Krishna.
हूँ क्योंकि इधर दो फॉरेन के भक्त हैं.
Hare Krishna,
No,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. I understand English, but not talking it properly. Scientific
Perfect.
language is different, Prabhuji.
Yes. No worries. You understand the science of Krishna. That's most important. Hare
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Dandotnam.
Yes. Dandavat
Uh,
Pranam.
with in the same direction of what Shadev Prabhu just asked us, uh,
Hmm.
but it is also told that we can always have a lamination, or if you have deities of the Lord at your place,
Hmm.
at your home, so we can
Hmm.
always have a formal reciprocation. I'll not say the word formal, but informal reciprocation with the Lord, expressing our day-to-day activity, or expressing whatever emotion is there. We can always talk to the Lord. So it is advised by many senior devotees that one can talk to him. It's not like something like Sergia, but this is how we personally reciprocate with the Lord. Although we may have not reached to the stage where the Lord will reciprocate by actually speaking. So when the pure devotees of the Lord are speaking to the deities of the Lord, so there is two-way reciprocation. But we at our
Hmm.
stage, we can always uh, become a little person in dealings with the Lord by speaking our heart to Him. So it is always advised to do so. So, you have any comments on this?
See,
What has Prabhupada
okay.
spoken on this? Because this is something which I have heard from many brahmacharis, that
Hmm.
it's not necessary that you should have deities, but you can always have even a lamination of the Lord in the home, and then you can speak. Otherwise, only philosophy, and you are not, you're only contemplating and you are not reciprocating. This is also a reciprocation process. Like you offer flowers, you offer bhoga to the Lord, so you can also speak to the Lord. Of course, when we are purified, then the reciprocation from the other side will also happen. That is very
Hmm.
advanced stage. Yeah, yes, bro.
See, bro. Yeah, you can do that. Like it's not that we are very rigid in this matter. But as far as possible, we should not talk. And let me also explain why Prabhupada does not insist like this. See, Prabhu, right now our mind is completely contaminated with the three modes of nature. See, Lord is extremely merciful. Lord is extremely merciful. Don't underestimate his mercy. He can fulfill all your desires. But do we really want that? If I'm asking the Lord, I'm saying, oh Lord, my mother is sick, my father is sick, please heal them. What's the big deal for that, Lord? He can do it. But what is the use? Hmm. My father is an illusion, my so called mother is an illusion. My existence in this world is an illusion. And I'm asking the Lord to, fulfill my illusory desires. But this is bound to happen because I am an illusion. This thing appears very real to me. Okay, my job, my home, my mother, my father, they appear very real to me because I am living in that illusion. The objective of serving Krishna is to become free from this illusion completely. So it is best to stick to the instructions given by the spiritual master. Chant 16 rounds, read books, take prasadam, and serve. Render complete service to the Lord. Then we'll become free. Otherwise, the cycle of illusion will continue. We are doing some service to the Lord, certainly. We are chanting, we are performing arati, we are trying to preach. So, yes, Krishna is definitely favorable to us. But we don't want to misuse that favor. Therefore, it is best to avoid this kind of talking. Though there is no prohibition as such, but it is not advisable to do it. Like Srila Prabhupada, he said that whenever I met my spiritual master, I only asked him one question: how can I serve you? I never asked him for anything else. Oh, Prabhupada, please explain what is like this. Oh, Prabhupada, is Krishna blue, dark blue, or light blue? No, we should not ask such questions. And any question, we should just say, how can I serve you?
So,
Because through service, everything will be revealed. Through the service of the Lord, the absolute truth itself is revealed. What to speak of these relative truths? So, better not ask questions when we are immature.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So you are actually giving examples of an extreme case, like you're asking favors to Krishna about family health or members' health,
Hmm,
or cases like
hmm,
a philosophical question you are asking to the deity of the Lord. This is not what is
hmm,
the question all about. The question is all about treating Lord as the core member of your family. Okay, so it's like personalized dealing. Okay, so that's why I'm asking you, has Prabhupada given any comments on this? Okay, but
yes,
what have been
yes,
but
Prabhupada.
it's like you say we have a deity in the home, or you have a
Hmm,
photo of the Lord in the home, but then
hmm,
you are very mechanical in dealing with him. So it's not that
hmm,
you are going to sit in front of the Lord for hours together and forget about your chanting, forget about reading.
hmm,
It's just a 2 or 3 minute reciprocation of your just how you deal with how you relate with any member of the family. Okay, it's just like,
hmm.
okay,
No, no.
yeah,
I understand what you're saying, Prabhu.
yeah,
I understand.
not taking the experiments.
Yes, yes.
Prabhuji,
So
my
in this
question is
regard,
also in that context. Ki I don't. I
hmm,
also ask that uh, I don't want any favor, but if suppose I feeling the cold, my Krishna is also feeling the cold. Same feeling that I want to share. Not any favor.
hmm,
But I am doing anything. Please give me another thing or whatever I want. That is not my
hmm.
question in that contest.
Okay, so I'll answer this. Srila Prabhupada has actually answered this question directly. Not directly like this, but he has actually explained what is to be done. See, Prabhu, we are completely contaminated. Srila Prabhupada always used to say, be extremely careful. You're dealing with Krishna. So, in this regard, Srila Prabhupada says that at our stage of spiritual evolution, we are not worshipping Radha and Krishna. We don't have entry into their pastime, but we are worshipping them in the mood of Lakshmi Narayana. The Lord is the master of the house. So the mood of service to the deities or photographs of the deities should be the mood of a servant, and the mood should be that they are the Lord and master of this house, not family members, not yet, because we are not so pure. So in that mood, when we worship, first stage is to develop awe and reverence for the Lord. That's why we are studying Bhagavatam now. This will become clear as we go as through the first and the second cantos of Bhagavad. So awe and reverence to the best of our ability. And gradually, when we start getting purified, the remaining things will be revealed to us. So at this stage, this will breed familiarity with the Lord. We'll become unhappy with the Lord sometimes. That should not never happen. In this life, we sometimes fight with our own parents also. I mean, some of you may be more pious than we are, than I am, and we must have used some harsh language to our parents also. We can do that, though that is not a Vedic culture at all. In fact, this is the same thing that Prabhupada explains in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that elders like Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya are not to be offered even angry words if they say something wrong. But we do that.
Arjuna gives this explanation.
Yeah. So he's giving, Krishna is explaining that it's all right, they have lost their intelligence. But Arjuna is arguing that such cannot be, even such arguments cannot be offered. But we do that, regularly do that. Even after becoming devotees, we do that. So when we develop such familiarity with the Lord, it may happen accidentally that we do that. And that will become a seva aparadh. So best is to just assume they are Lakshmi Narayan and worship them as such. This question was asked by, I think, Yamuna Mataji or one of the Matajis in ISKCON also, that Prabhupada, why can't we decorate Radha and Krishna with fruits and flowers? Prabhupada said, no, jewelry and fine clothing. They are Lakshmi Narayan. They are not yet Radha and Krishna for us. So we cannot be familiar with them. So that is a bit of a Sahajiaism to think though Radha and Krishna are my family members. No. If you do want to think of them that way, then think, I mean, this is like, still I'm saying that I'm stretching the philosophy a bit too thin here. You can treat them like your mother and father, never as friends. We are not in that position at all. If at all you do want to treat them like family, maybe like grandfather, grandmother, or father or mother, but nothing less than that. Otherwise, seva aparadh, offenses will occur. I know many devotees have gone to Vrindavan and they talk about Krishna Lala and all these things. Not Gaudiyas. No, even Gaudiyas in Vrindavan don't behave like this. We are, followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu never showed familiarity with the deities. He worshipped them. That's our mood also. Worship. Love and respect. Worship. That mood is all right. If some Premanand Maharaj of Radha Vallabh Sampradaya says that, or some Rajendra Das Maharaj of Ramanandi Sampradaya says that, or some other Sampradaya in Vrindavan says that, that's all right. That's for them. We respect that. And that is not wrong. For them, it's not wrong. But for us, we are Gaudiyas. We are the servants, we are the gatekeepers. Our position is not to come inside the house. We are the dogs in the street. It's not our position to come to the master's table and eat his bread. Not our position. We are too contaminated. Does that answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's a very nice thing that Prabhupada is highlighting us, that there can be always a chance, like familiarity breeds contempt. Okay, so that thing has to be taken care of. So there's a high chance
Yeah.
that we familiarize too much with the Lord, and then that respect and gratitude is lost, although we are not reached to that level of the inner circle of the Lord.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mahaprabhu forbade Jagadanand Pandit from going to Vrindavan. I mean, Jagadanand Pandit, who is Jagadanand Pandit? He's Satyabhama. Satyabhama, according to scriptures, she's Ansh of Radharani herself. But Jagadanand Pandit, when he wanted to go to Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu forbade. He said, if you go to Vrindavan, stay there for 3 days with Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. Don't, become familiar with the Brajvasis. You will not understand their mannerisms, their behavior, and you may commit offenses. I mean, Brajvasi behavior can be very wild. They sometimes abuse Krishna. But if we do that, straight path to hell, Maharora. We don't want that. We are Gaudiyas, Dasa Dasanu Das. Hari Hari. There is no
Yes,
Krishna Lala for
Prabhuji.
us. That's for Yashoda Mai, not for us.
Yes, Prabhuji. This seems to be harsh, but it is true.
This is the mood of our acharyas.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Okay, so we'll
Prabhuji.
just,
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
sorry. Prabhuji, if I can ask one question.
Yeah, please.
When we read Krishna book, there are certain pastimes. Yes, the Gopas, the Gopis, Yashoda Maya, all of them treated Krishna as their son, as their friend. But there are times, for example, the Krishna Leela, where there is where Krishna swallows the fire. So they right away, the call in that Krishna Leela is that the Gopas and the Gopis and everybody in Vrindavan right away calls for Krishna and say, oh, we don't want to go anywhere else. We simply surrender to you. Please help. Meaning at certain time, they remembered that Krishna is supreme. So how is this happening that certain time they are remembering Krishna is supreme and certain times they are not?
No. There's a bit of a misunderstanding.
अच्छा जी.
They think that Krishna is a great miracle worker.
Oh, अच्छा जी. The Krishna can do
Then,
anything.
yeah, they think, oh, Krishna is like a miraculous friend. He can do something superhuman. but still they don't think of him as Lord. And any time any Brajvasi starts getting some ideas about Krishna, Krishna goes heavy and just, invokes all Yoga Maya and puts them under illusion. When Mother Yashoda, Brahmand Ghat, when she saw Brahmand in the mouth of Krishna, and she started wondering, who is this child? What am I seeing? Is this Mahavishnu? When she started thinking, Krishna immediately brought down Yoga Maya and closed his mouth. And Yashoda Mai again started thinking, okay, don't eat this soil again. Okay, let's go home now. So never, Lord doesn't allow them to think like that. So they think, okay, Krishna is miraculous. He's performing superhuman feats. Like when this came, when this big demon, snake demon, Aghasur came. What did the boys think? That's actually a very beautiful example. This Aghasur Leela is so pretty. So this gigantic snake is lying there, and the boys, they go near, say, what is this? I mean, imagine 8, 9-year-old boys, what is their intelligence? They're like monkeys. They're just playing there. They see this snake. What is this thing? One boy says, hey, this is a mountain. The boy says, no, there is no mountain here. One says, this looks like a snake. You go near his mouth, some foul smell is also coming. Then all the boys decide, okay, we'll enter this cave. Some of the boys are thinking this might be dangerous, but then they all think, it's all right, there is Krishna here. What can happen to us? And they all enter. And Krishna is actually worried that this gigantic demon has now appeared here and he can harm these boys. So Krishna is waiting outside and the snake is waiting patiently. Okay, let's wait for Krishna to enter, then I'll just gobble them up. All the boys enter inside. And Krishna then sees the great danger. He says, now he can kill the boys. So Krishna says, okay, I will enter. And then he enters the mouth of Aghasur. But you see the mood of the boys. They know that this is a deadly creature. The boys, like, more or less, they agree that, yeah, this looks like a gigantic snake and he could be dangerous. But then they think, like, what can have happened to us? There's Krishna. And then, of course, Krishna has to kill the demon for his boyfriends. But again, they don't think Krishna is God. They think, ah, he's a wonderful friend. That's all. He's a wonderful friend.
ठीक है जी, thank you so much Prabhuji for clarifying. Hare Krishna ji.
Krishna. Yes. Any other questions or comments? I mean, we're going to study all of this. Don't worry. If we just stick around in Bhagavatam, all these topics are going to come and we're going to cover all of these. Yes. So we'll just take one paragraph, finish this little one, 2 lines actually. Then on Wednesday when we meet, that's the Christmas Eve here or something. I don't know whether I'll be there or not. But when we meet next time, we are going to discuss the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. He gave only 8 verses, Shiksha Ashtakam. We'll discuss those. So that will require some time. We may take 40-45 minutes. But those teachings are extremely beautiful because they cover the whole aspect of bhakti. Okay, so then he instructed Rupa Goswami in devotional service and deputed him to Vrindavan to excavate the lost sites of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. After this, the Lord returned to Varanasi and delivered sannyasis and instructed the elder brother of Rupa Goswami. We have already discussed this. So, thank you very much, everyone. We'll continue next time when we meet, okay? Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavad pranam.
Hare
Krishna, Dandavad
Thank you,
pranam.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you.